What is the piko? What is your piko? The piko is our Kanaka connection to our authentic indigenous ways of knowing. These entry points in the body are places where Kanaka receive downloads of informed teaching from the environment, our parents, kupuna, and the ancestors. This phenomenon is a biocultural vibration that connects us to our past, our present, and into our future. Here are the entry points of the body in which these vibrations become portals for communication. Everybody touch your fontanelle, right here. Right, that baby soft spot on the top of your head. That's the spiritual portal to your ancestors. They come in the form of dreams, visions, and inspirations, and even more for some of us sitting here. Piko O, everybody say O, is where the navel or belly button serves as an invisible. A lot of us don't want to think about the invisible genealogical line that tethers us to your inherited gifts from your ohana. Piko A, everybody say ah, is the location on the body. And everybody take your ah and point it downward. Right? Where our reproductive system grounds us to our future. This link, this really incredible link to the children and grandchildren not yet born to some of us in this room. Some of us, our great-grands, are on their way. When we understand the importance of the piko and value its power, we provide our students and ourselves with the ability to gather safely as one community. So when we create our piko, our students are reminded to unplug. They unplug from technology and they take a moment and pause, stand together proudly on our aina to celebrate the beauty and the wonder of aina, release our intentions for the day as people on aina. When we offer our oli, we are actually asking the aina permission to enter into aina, into the sacred learning. Spaces, oh, these spaces, beautiful spaces. What you're looking at on the screen was the first Department of Education Mindfulness Melemuro completed in the Honolulu District in 2015 by the students of Kaimuki High School and the Hospitality Academy under the direction of muralist Estria Miyashiro, really great friend of mine. The art depicts the healing waters of Kahalaʻopuna that are found in the underground ponds and caverns beneath Kaimuki High School that meanders through Mo'iliili in the University of Hawaii area to the College of Education in Manoa. It's said to have restorative powers. Yes, brings back the human body to life. It's in our mo'olelo, these places. It's part of the story of Kahalaʻopuna, the Rainbow Princess of Manoa. This was the passion project that I started with the school librarian, my friend, Laurie Tran. She's sitting in the back there, everybody. Please turn around and recognize her. She stands here with me today. At the time, Hokulea was on her Malama Honua voyage around the world. And we wanted to connect our students to this awesome historical event, these places. We went on a mindfulness journey to find our place-based story. In the last panel of this 200-foot giant of a mural, Hokulea and Hiki Analia are painted under the majestic seven heavens, indicating Hokulea's importance to not just us, the entire world. Huge, these places. Wow, I am just overwhelmed. While I am no longer teaching at Kaimuki High School, these images call me to my piko and remind me every day that there is a great work to be done in social justice. The memories and the work I helped accomplish here is still on those walls. Yes, 16 place-based murals on campus, and a total of 26 in the Ahupua of Waikiki. And that's what I want to share with you today, leaving a lasting legacy that continues to educate and inspire big and bold actions of social justice. Let's be very honest. To invest in piko is to recognize the social justice in restoring the cultural capital of a people, Native Hawaiian people, cut off from their language, hula traditions, and lands. In 1896, the provisional government under the Republic of Hawaii made it illegal to teach Olelo Hawaiʻi in our schools, your schools. I call this period the Great Disruption. For 83 years, our elder kupuna were forbidden to speak to their keiki and mo'opuna. Shame. Pushed out of importance, becoming unnecessary. These people in our ohana with the keys to ancient indigenous knowledge became the targets of erasure. This one act severed the direct piko or lifeline to the way we transferred ike kupuna. For many of us, including some sitting in this room, school was a harsh place. We were given meal tokens indicating we were poor. We're the old Hawaiians. We're considered and associated with being dumb and stupid. However, there is no excuse for this type of stigma to continue because of the voyage of Hokulea in 1976, the rediscovery of the Ku'e petitions in 1998, and the volumes upon volumes of Hawaiian language nupepa, evidence that we were skilled navigators, politically conscious, intrigued by global movements and affairs. These understandings guide my perception about Pono leadership and my kuleana to observe Piko daily to recognize that our schools are sacred. Today, teachers have the power to build sacred spaces of learning that feed and nourish our keiki. Let's look at the structure of an ancient Hawaiian fish pond with makaha, sluice gates, awai, water ditches, encircled by rock and coral walls. What is the function of a local i'a? Their function was to channel rich nutrients from Mauka to Makai and create a thriving sanctuary for stabilizing a balanced ecosystem for the pua, or young fry fish, as they grow and they mature. Does this sound like your classroom? Do you see the makaha as your curriculum? Because I do. The awai filled with the veins of knowledge gathered from mentor, teacher, kupuna that have supported you along your way. The way from Mauka to Makai. Are you connecting with your Kaiaulu community as you stack and set each pohaku? That over time, the people and the places like small farmers, your stakeholders, artisans, innovators, they become cemented grains of sand that become the walls of your classroom. These safe havens you are building in a sacred space, a local i'a of learning and teaching. You are the mulivai, the nourishing waters. That's who you are. You are that for our keiki, so they can grow strong and mighty. How can you create a local i'a type setting in your classroom and have it filter into the school and other places on campus? I'm going to tell you a story, and I hope I can get through it. On 910 Kalihi Street, my grandmother Hazel Akepa Maikalani Akim Naone, a lifelong educator, waited at the kitchen table for a message from me. When I called her to tell her that Principal Charlie Go, pictured here in the corner, hired me to teach Hawaiian language and Hawaiian history at Roosevelt High School in 1992. She began to weep. See, in her mind, Roosevelt was the best, because only the best in English learning could attend in her time. So like the tidal wave that just covered her, in that instant she knew some kind of change was happening in this ohana. The fear, however, set in. I could hear it in the tone of her voice. She then told me 3 things I must do to find my place, make my way through this new setting without losing myself and feeling alone. She said, first thing you gonna do, you gonna make lots of friends. Make friends with people in your school. Start with the custodian, cafeteria workers, the librarian. Librarians, I love you. And those who want to participate in things that interest you. Make friends with everybody and share aloha, even when it seems that they are not interested. Here on the screen are some of my friends. that I've made over the years as an educator. Second, she said, get to know your community, especially the elders. Make their neighborhood your neighborhood. Seek out the elders with ike kupuna who want to share with you their specific knowledge. Encourage folks to partner with you to see the potential for future learning, collaboration, collective adventure. Choose to create something out of nothing. Third, share your talents, gifts, and treasures. My granny told me, make sure to share your gifts, especially those gained from mentors and those perfected over time. This slide illustrates my gift, which is connected to the past, the present, by way of visual symmetry. If you look at the screen, on the left, there is a yearbook picture. The first year Kaimuki High School opened its doors. These coconut trees, 29 in all, were just planted here. On the right, this is what the coconut trees look like today. And if you didn't know, they do not need to be watered because their roots are connected to the underground springs depicted on that beautiful, gigantic mural. See, it's that talent. I'm not the only one that has it in this room. We connect past, present, future, under the feet where we cannot see, above and in beyond. I can connect learning in different areas and make sure my students make as many connections in their own learning as possible. So now you know a little bit about my early days, but in 2020, during the pandemic, I found myself starting all over again at Kahuku High School. And it was truly a lonely time for me. I think I spoke to 3, maybe 4 people on campus the whole year. And it wasn't because we were all wearing masks. I was familiar with my work, but not familiar with the school at the place. I was scared and began to doubt my purpose. When it became safer and my confidence returned, I went to lessons provided by my grandmother. I began by making friends. In the counseling department then, with the custodians, and finally the cafeteria manager and workers. Soon I made it my business to understand my role within the professional learning community, or what we call PLCs. I began to notice that one of the Kumu Olelo Hawaiʻi in Papa year 2 was sick and ill. She wasn't coming to school, gang. And no one was asking the questions. How is she? How is my friend? And I became concerned about her. When she returned, I asked if I could lend support and maybe bring Hawaiian 1, 2, and 3 classes together to participate in PICO. She was so thrilled. That friend is sitting right here with all of you today. Kumolele pali. In November of 2022, the Hawaiian language program met every Wednesday after that, together for PICO. The collaboration grew to include the sharing of vocabulary building tools, conversational exercises that required students to share their aina, moku, mauna, kahavai, kai. These kids was going at it. Their kumu mamo that linked their mo'oku auhau or genealogy to the aina. Another of my talents is gathering data, so I voluntarily showcased our work in our PLC. I chronologically put our storyboard together, reflecting at the end of the year all of the data. We began to inform us that suddenly our students, our Papa Olelo Hawaiʻi students, started to command space. We began to collect common formative assessments. We made CFAs as committed on a continuum, and we met regularly to set and tackle all priorities around these assessments. This success encouraged us to do more planning that occurred over the summer of 2023. We put together a gigantic effort to join forces to re-envision the Hawaiian language program as a thriving academy. We each wrote a grant from OHA for $5,000 to finance our flexible but yet very critical curriculum plans. We developed classroom norms, language competencies, scaffolding with an aina-based focus on ahupua'a restoration and resource sustainability. Our plans were so large, they were unrealistic. An idea no one else would want to do. But we persevered. We connected with community partners through the OHE-approved DOE vendor list, called our friends at STEM Plus, Kuku Hawaii Foundation, Sustainable Coastlines, and many, many more. Ku'ule Makua, Kalena Nakasone, and Keola Kauhane from OHE showed up as mentors and educational supporters every time we needed them. We also organized events that included the students and teachers of Kula Kaya Puni when possible. However, our greatest joy is to work with farmers from KK Farms, Ho'ulu, Punalu'u, Hanohano Hulia Mahi, and the educators from All About Ulu. With all of these supports, we were able to organize 6 huaka'i or field trips in the Ko'olauloa area. Now keep in mind, we did not go to huaka'i as Hawaiian Language Academy before. In fact, it was so important because it started to form our piko and our kuleana. Because kaikaina and kaikuana relationships, or the bonds of older to younger siblings together, is synergy. It encourages kuleana between peers. It galvanizes their kuleana to aina, to ohana, to the community, and then to their lahui and their people. Altogether, in the span of 9 months, we were able to take 785 students to learn about our moku from the kupuna elders in our community, and we aren't done yet. Our Hawaiian language program is so successful, gang, that we've increased our student enrollment numbers that as of yesterday, or should I say Thursday, I learned that the number of students that want to learn the Hawaiian language at Kahuku High School has doubled to all levels. They're currently trying to figure out how to give us back our 8th graders. That's how the numbers have increased. I'm speechless, and I think some of you are too. So I want to leave you with this today. The idea that social justice or change is not impossible. In fact, it is our kuleana. You may think you're just one person. You may think that you're replaceable. But like this mural in Ka'imuki, your work is not. It is not. I'm going to say that again. It is not. Together, we have power. Create a situation where you can return to the work and ask how you can repeat this work wherever and whenever you go. Being a Pono leader is to leave something lasting in the community that will have an impact long after you and I leave it. And when we talk about this Pono Award, these Pono Award people that took the time to do this for little old me, I want you to also think about what Pono means to you. The work it takes to be Pono, and how to lead your students, your colleagues, and your community. If you're unsure or afraid, just remember my granny's words. That old lady sitting on a chair in Kalihi, as if she were your granny. Make friends. Make plenty friends. Know your community. And most importantly, share your gifts. I want to take this time to mahalo the Human and Civil Rights Committee for selecting me as their Pono Award recipient. To my friends, Kumu Kawila Sheldon, for nominating me. Kumu Laila, Ku'upuni Lelepali, and Laurie Chan for having clarity, foresight, and patience to see, think, and feel the Pono in our important work. We were alone, gang. Completely alone, and we got it done. Last but not least, I would not be up here if it weren't for my trusted sidekick and Huaka'i production manager, my husband, Kaleo Hanohano. He's always the muscle. Mahalo, honey, for everything. To all of you, mahalo for being part of this piko and recognizing the Pono in this sacred work. Please repeat after me. E ho'i. E ho'i. Kako. Kako. Ika piko. Ika piko. Aloha no. Ahui ho malama pono kako.